Hello, beach friends. This looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yep, it's looking pretty promising. And I got news for you. We are going to have so much fun today. Now, other people might go to the beach and collect their seashells, maybe post a picture or two. I got to make a whole YouTube channel about it. I love seashells. I love identifying them. And I love the beach and all the critters and everything that comes along with it. Now, I'm here quite early. The early sheller gets the shells, but it's also low tide. That happens to be when I personally like to go to the beach. It exposes more beach and there's just more opportunities to find treasures. And I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek, and this is not even the shell that I'm most excited about. So if you're ready to see what's all out there for us today, let's go to the beach. Okay, so we are here at Fort Myers Beach. It is very early, it is low tide. So we have all those things established. And you know what? The beach is looking kind of flat. Like there's not a whole lot here in this particular area. Did manage to snag this beach bowl, also known as a giant Atlantic cockle. Kind of hard to miss when there's pretty much nothing else here. So we're gonna grab that. All right, what do we got here? All right, so this is hinged. It is a calico clam. And boy, oh boy, was it a good day for calico clams, I tell you. So we'll just snag that as well. And it looks great. I mean, it's beautiful, but whoa. I mean, there's shells here, but you know, I'm a little bit pickier than just the common stuff. So I'm gonna start walking, and I'm gonna walk, and I end up covering probably about 4 miles today. But we're just getting started. This is a spiny jewel box. Aren't they awesome? Yeah, the spinier and the spikier, the better. I personally love just things that are a little bit different. Now this, frankly, I don't know what this is. It may be a misshapen pointed Venus clam. I went back and forth, but see the teeth on the reverse? That's not really what that's, I don't know what that is. So that is a mystery shell. If anybody has a clue, it's not a crostotella, it's not a pointed nut clam. I don't know what that is. This is one of my favorite places on Fort Myers Beach. This old pier here. Birds tend to kind of hang out here. And a couple critters. Now, if you're a little bit squeamish, I'm going to say look away for a minute because we're going to look at some barnacles and some oysters. So these are old critters. They actually are animals. They've glued themselves to this post here and they're hanging out. They're waiting for the tide to come back in. So they're not going to be feeding or moving right now. They're conserving all of their moisture. Everybody here, all of those oysters and barnacles and everything, they're just hanging out, conserving the moisture in their little shells, just waiting for the tide to come back in. So they're hanging out. Let's see what else. Other kind of shells and critters. This is a rose petal tellin that anytime I come to Fort Myers Beach, I always just kind of say, yes, Fort Myers Beach does have, in my opinion, the best rose petal tellins. You're just about guaranteed to find them. See, I wasn't kidding about those calico clams. It really was a great day. And I happen to like those shells, and just shells in general are really interesting to me because they're always different. They're a little bit browner or lighter, darker, different colors. So I did managed to add quite a few calico clams to my collection. Now this little guy I like because I like that texture, those lines on it. And some shells do have, they're very beautiful lines that have a little bit of texture. That's a little quahog. And it's a very, very common, really nothing to it kind of shell. But every now and then they just make me stop, these quahogs. There's just something about them. So this is another one. So this is a little bit bigger. This is also a quahog. And they're just kind of neat. You can kind of tell the top of it, it still has those, that texture, like that little shell that we just saw. And wait, we're going to find a big one, like a whopper. That's a little bit later in the day. Right now, we're still working with whatever we got here. So that is nacre. I do pass it often, but just for those of you who are maybe new and don't see all the stuff I've picked up in the past, that is nacre. It's also called mother of pearl. and they grow on the inside of pen shells. And a pen shell is another shell I almost never pay attention to, but not this time. So I'm going to pick up, so this is a pen shell, and you can see underneath there, see that mother of pearl, that nacre on the inside? So that other piece I was just holding fell off a shell very, very similar to this, a pen shell. A flat urchin, or a keyhole urchin. 5-hole keyhole sand dollar. So that is a sand dollar, perfectly collectible. You can't always rely on the color of sand dollars. Some of the ones that are expired and safe to collect are quite dark. You really just kind of know. And if you're not sure, just leave it at the beach, because you might be taking home a critter, and that would be bad. But that is perfectly safe to collect and absolutely stunning. The pattern on that is gorgeous. A little sand dollar. Tellin. So this is an alternate Tellin. There are a couple other Tellins. I'd love to find a candy stick Tellin or a sunrise Tellin, but that is an alternate Tellin. The Florida Fighting Conch. Yeah, I never go to the beach and not find at least one of these. They are also known as Strombus alatus. That is the scientific name. But it's early in my journey. They're heavy shells. I'm going to leave that Florida Fighting Conch. I'm going to hold on to that lighter shell. That was a calico scallop. And I'm going to kind of hope my luck changes. I mean, there's plenty of stuff here. I mean, this is fabulous. Another fantastic sand dollar. But the beach just looks really flat. So that is another 5-hole keyhole urchin. And even the sand dollars are a little different from specimen to specimen. Okay, we have some American oyster catchers. Lovely morning. And then I saw my buddy that I do sometimes see down here at the beach, and I went over to say hi, and look at what I saw. So this is a horse conch, and I know it's a horse conch, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And it happens like this sometimes. I'm actually really far from the water at this point. I walked all the way back kind of inland, and then I spied the knuckles of this horse conch. So it is intact. Look at that, right? Oh, right. So that is a juvenile fighting conch. So the horse conch is so big. There's other shells in it. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. But frankly, it's in rough shape. I mean, it's got some holes in it. It's still really, really cool. I'm definitely going to do something with it. Pretty cool. It's always exciting to find the big horse conch. But yeah, so that is going in my shell bag. It's not the best one I've ever found. So it's fine. It's pretty exciting, but not like the best. This is a crown conch. I'd venture to say it's not the best I've ever found. So, I'm not going to get too all wrapped up. I do kind of go to the beach often. So I do love seeing things like this angel wing. But unless it's kind of different, I might not really start flipping out. But not to worry. I have a couple more shells to show you today that I'm going to flip out over. So this is a lettered olive. They can be very shiny, very pointy, and absolutely irresistible. Oh, I just love them. Here we have little hermit crab and a dark seraph. So the shell is a dark seraph. Hermit crab is just darn cute. Yep, lovely little bumpy home you have there, friend. So yeah, low tide, you're just about guaranteed to find hermit crabs down here. And when we talk about the shells being empty, we mean either the animal that created the shell or a hermit crab. So when you say that they're occupied, it could either be like I said, the animal or a hermit crab. Is this empty? Yes, that is empty. That is a fighting conch. Oh, the stripes on that. Oh, that's pretty. A lovely Florida fighting conch. And, oh yeah, just a piece. So that's a piece of a lightning whelk. Oh man, look at that moonstone. Oh, it's awesome. But yeah, it's not on the bottom there. It's a little pitted, and yeah, it's not. The aperture is a little broken. I'm still keeping it. I'll find something to do with that. Really cool shark eye. This is a shark eye as well, and again, a little beat up. It is hard. It is really hard to find like a good big shark eye. So I do love appreciating the little ones. Oh, and the zigzags on the fighting conchs. Yeah. I'm going to find some other really cool zigzag shells too. I'm telling you, it was a fun day, even though it was a weird day. All right, here's lightning whelk. And I can tell you, I probably give that away. There, we'll get to that. So that is a lightning whelk. Oh boy. So those are all crossbarred Venus clams. It's a little button shell, little broken button shell. Not terribly exciting. All right, spiny jewel box. Let's see. Are you alive? So I just give it a little test, and if I get resistance, I know that there is a creature in there. So we'll just put you right here for a second. Let's see what else is here. Oh, this apple murex. Excellent. It is empty. The critter. No hermit crabs. No nothing in that apple murex. Excellent. But you... I'm going to bring that spiny jewel box a little closer to the water. There you go. Speaking of spiny jewel boxes, now, oh yeah, there we go. Oh, it's so spiky. So yeah, that's the kind of thing yeah, I love anything very shiny, very spiky. The overachievers. So that is a very nice looking spiny jewel box. Okay, we got a banded tulip. And I tend to, my eyes focus on the bands, but the actual base of the shell is so pretty. Like they're mottled colors. Oh, another spiny jewel box. Look at the purple on that. Yeah. And it's hinged, which I guess isn't really all that rare. I tend to find them kind of on the regular, but I still think it's really cool. Hinged spiny jewel box. Now, you shell people, what do you think? I thought that might be a Tampa Talon, and I think I've come across this before, but the Tampa Talons are only supposed to get about an inch big, so that's either a giant Tampa Talon, or I just don't know what it is. What do you think? What kind of talon? Let me know what you think. So I washed it off. I came down here and saw this lightning whelk. Now, it's probably alive. And so, yep, yeah, it was. So and I hate to disturb the animal, but I also don't want to leave a big old empty shell on the beach. So peeked. I know that it's there. I know it's alive. Keep on moving. So this is a bruised NASA. And I never really stopped to appreciate how pretty these shells are. They're tiny, but I'm loving the little bumps on them. Really pretty little bruised NASA. And then here we have another lettered olive. Yeah, I get it. Yep, and rubbing my thumb on it because I'm feeling how shiny the shell is. I can feel how shiny it is. I've picked up enough. I can just tell. So that is another lightning whelk that likely will be gifted. I'm getting to that part in a minute, but that is a lightning whelk. And then that I'm just giving it, checking out. I thought perhaps it's an albino Florida fighting conch. I mean, it's in terrible shape, but I really think it's just been bleached out, hanging out here for a while. So, yep, not albino, but I'm still looking, still in the market for one. Now these augers, yeah, you've really got to check them good. So that one had a hermit crab in it. What about this one? Now, I couldn't really tell. For me, I just couldn't tell. So I err on the side of caution and leave anything that could be alive at the beach. Oh, it's a nice looking lightning whelk. Nice size. Yep, that is awesome. But I gave it away because there was someone who said, what's wrong with that shell? And I said, well, it's alive. And she said, tell it to get out. I'm like, well, it doesn't work like that. You don't tell the animal to leave. So I'm showing her, this is kind of like a teaching moment. So I'm showing her, this is an animal that is alive with its operculum and everything. And then I went and gifted her all of those lightning whelks I picked up just to kind of make it, there you go. So that you found one. And then I gave her all the ones I had because I just wanted her to feel okay about leaving the live animal at the beach. And I kind of I got into it with somebody about leaving it there and it was unpleasant. So I will be making a video just trying to explain to people that you don't throw live animals around and, you should just treat the things that we do find at the beach with respect. So that will be coming out soon. It didn't slow me down though. I'm still here at low tide and I'm still having myself a good old time. Oh, look at that. Wait, oh, wait. I put my finger on the side and it didn't, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Look at that moon snail. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. It's awesome. So that is a shark eye. Easily the biggest one I've ever found. And I am pumped. The aperture is almost perfect. Yes, it was tiny bit of pitting. It was a little green shmeen. I'll put that in bleach. Holy cow. And on top of all that, it's a Paul Newman. It's got its little blue eye. The blue that kind of matches the sky and the ocean. And oh man. Yeah, I'm humming. I'm so excited about that moon snail. Now, this little apple murex it's sucking on a shell. Normally it would be drilling into something, and I guess it probably is drilling, but it's just making a hole. It's not going to be eating anything because that shell is empty. Now, here's a couple more jewel boxes. Now, jewel boxes live cemented to reefs and debris to moderate depths, but the Florida spiny jewel boxes, they unhinge themselves and they kind of like float around free after a little while. Interesting. This is a little bit beat up nutmeg. I think the only one we're going to see today. So that is a nutmeg. Now, this is the quahog. Remember earlier we talked about that smaller shell and then kind of like a little bit bigger of a shell? That is a quahog. It is a monster of a shell. And I just ran out and weighed it. It weighs 1 pound, 3.3 ounces. So that thing really is a monster. I was in love with it. And yeah, I didn't have enough big, heavy stuff in my bag, so I did keep that quahog. Well, lightning wilk, that's kind of pretty. And that one I probably kept because I'd already had the encounter with the woman and the shell, and it really was unpleasant. Oh, here's another one. So yeah, there's just certain things apparently I can't keep my trap shut if I'm afraid that someone might be taking a live snail or if they're going to toss it into deeper water. So please gently place our squishy friends back in the water. We don't throw them around. So these are all crossbarred Venus clams, and that was what it looked like when I found that other big moon snail. So I'm like, all right, the conditions are just like they were before. It just doesn't work like that. So this is a moon snail, but this is a colorful moon snail. Not in great shape, but you find one in not great shape, it means possibly you'll find one in fabulous shape. Here's another little moon snail. Oh, it's kind of nice. It's a lovely little thing. And that's the way the shells grow. Like if that shell survived, it would just keep building and building and building. Really cool. Sunray Venus clam with my little shark eye. Oh, well, hello, little drill. So that is a Gulf oyster drill. So pick it up. First thing I do is look on the inside and yeah, something in there. The critter is in there with its little tiny operculum. So since that is alive, that is going to stay here at the beach. And that's okay. I don't mind finding, it's critter. I got to experience it. I got to see it. Didn't keep the shell, but believe me, I'm going to be taking home plenty of shells. This is another juvenile fighting conch. For me, loving the white with that brown stripe on it. Could this be another? No. Yeah, that's usually how the shark eyes work out for me. You just kind of pull it out, but it could have been a big, beautiful shark eye. But it wasn't. And that's okay, because I already found one. All right, next up, we have another juvenile Florida fighting conch. Yeah, zigzaggy white, perfect size. Another lettered olive that apparently passed the shine test. You can feel how shiny it is. Ooh, oh, you are so zigzaggy. Yeah, I will never be able to resist a very zigzaggy Florida fighting conch. Couple of more awesome seashells. So this area, I see a lot. I do see that kind of broken shark eye. I see what I think is maybe an old fighting conch. What is this yellow? Oh, no way. That's a Sunray Venus clam. What? So some shells are like different and they're they get the wrong color. And I'm looking at the back now. That is the right color. That is the normal color of the back of a Sunray Venus. Is that like a golden Sunray Venus? Is there such a thing? Now, there is such a thing as a golden olive. So we've picked up a bunch of those lettered olives. There is a thing called a golden olive, and it is an anomaly in the coloration of the shell. So I'm wondering with that Sunray Venus clam, if that is just also an anomaly with the coloration. I've never seen one like it. I've never seen a picture like it. I'm thinking that is so cool. A golden Sunray Venus clam. That's going in my special shell box. So yeah, I'm still trying to see it. Now I got my boots on, so I had to do like this yoga move because I found this really spiky. Look at that. The zigzags are even on the spikes. Oh, so that is yet another Florida Fighting Conch. Yeah, apparently I just really want to carry a lot of weight with me, so I'm just picking up anything and everything. Here is a apple murex. Empty apple murex. That's a really nice looking shell. And what else we got? Oh, little spiny jewel box. Now I wonder, because sometimes the inside of the spiny jewel boxes, if they're like, is there such thing as like an albino version of it? There's another. Ooh, an albino murex. That would be so cool. I'm going to add that to my bucket list. But here we have a spiny jewel box and an apple murex. So this is a colorful moon snail. So it is kind of like, the cousins of the shark eye. Colorful moon snail. A lovely, little broken. Looks like it needed to repair itself. An auger. Yep, making sure it's empty, especially if you're close to the water. Double check. And yet another a little Florida Fighting Conch. Two more lovely little shells. And then there was a little tiny pile, but I happened to spy this little true tulip. So the true tulips will get quite large. Here's a small one. They come in such a nice range of colors. So it's almost like a chocolate. That would be, I guess, like a tiny chocolate true tulip. Okay, the tide is coming back in at this point. So I've managed to make it through low tide, and this area of the beach seems to be the most productive. And man, I've been talking a lot. I'm going to be quiet and let you enjoy some beach time. Now, we haven't talked about prickly cockles yet today, have we? And I always pick one up. They're pretty common, but I just kind of happen to like them. I love the inside. Love those purples and pinks, those sherbets. Sometimes they'll be a yellow color. So the Florida prickly cockle. Oh, garbage. I don't need to identify that. So I will pick up garbage. Anything I can really kind of handle. Sometimes it'll be like, tires and stuff. I can't do anything with that. But if it's anything that I can carry off the beach, I will pick it up and do just that. I will take it off the beach. Now, glass I also remove because our waters and beaches are just too gentle. It's not really going to beat it up into frosted sea glass, so I just take it. Now, this is a buttercup lucine. Now that yellow sometimes that's a pretty good looking yellow buttercup lucine. Oh, speaking of yellow, so that is another colorful moon snail. Yeah, it's got decent color. It's pretty much the way it's supposed to be. So that is a colorful moon snail, not to be confused with the shark eye. So that is a shark eye, which is a member of the moon snail family. Just happens to be a really awesome one. And you thought I was going for the beach bowl? I'm going for that banded tulip. Now, personally, I would not let any of that beach stuff bother me. It can be cleaned off quite easily with bleach. Now, I know how lucky I am. I am so grateful to live here, and I am so grateful that I have met other people like you that also care about the beach and the critters and that you choose to support me. So thank you so very much. I really do appreciate everybody who comes along, everybody who watches, everybody who leaves a comment. I may not be able to respond to all of them, but I read everything. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now here we have another Florida prickly cockle. I was kind of hoping that was albino. But guess what? Yeah, they're actually not necessarily common, the albino prickly cockles, but they're definitely not rare. I just like them anyway. Now this is just another calico scallop. Rather pretty though, a little unusual on the coloring. Usually it's not really that uniform. Lovely calico scallop, and yet another sand dollar with all its fancy names. The keyhole urchin, the 5-hole keyhole urchin, sand dollar. Yep. You're coming home with me too. Oh, and another, well, it's Fort Myers Beach and all. It would be terrible to not show at least a couple of those rose petal talons. So that was one. Now look at how shiny this one is. Now they can also be white. Yeah, I know, that tripped me up for a while too. These seashells are fascinating. So that's a bay scallop. Lovely. Yep, nice looking bay scallop. So what a day. I totally overdressed, but that's okay. You're not going to hear me whining about how cold I was. So right now I'm actually thinking about that moon snail. I'm thinking about that golden sunray Venus clam. And then like as an afterthought, oh yeah, the horse conch. Oh yeah, I found that too. But what a day. What a day. So this is an elegant Dosinia. And this is one of the shells that, like a storm comes through and they're always going to get tossed up on the beach. Now, normally I do believe I find the disc Dosinia. So the disc Dosinia is on the right and the elegant Dosinia is on the left. Now you'll see, for me, I have a very hard time kind of teasing them apart until I kind of find the other one. I'm like, okay, which is it? Because the record pattern, they both have them. But the disc Dosinia, it's going to have that. It's going to be they're smaller. I mean, the ridges are much closer together. So your elegant and your disc Dosinia. Oh, and another calico scallop, although it is pink. Oh, very pretty. Yeah, those, I tell you, for something like just like a little gooey creature to make these beautiful seashells, kind of cool. All right, so the broad-ribbed cardita. Yep, and I thought it was alive perhaps, but no. Another banded tulip, a rather nice looking banded tulip if I do say so myself, along with that broad-ribbed cardita. And oh, a moon snail. Yep, so that is another shark eye. Clearly not as majestic as that other one I found, but still a decent looking shark eye. And then the last shell of the day will be an apple murex, all with his little angles and everything. Pretty cool. Now, if I think back as to what my mindset was when I got to the beach, it was really flat and I had to walk a lot. And I'm like, oh no. Like I actually thought maybe I'm not going to find enough to make a video. But boy, was I wrong. What a fun day. Thank you so much for coming along with me. So the garbage. Yep, I took 1.35 ounces of garbage off the beach. In total, I've taken 42.88 pounds of garbage off the beach. Took a couple seashells too. So there are the Florida fighting conchs, some of the lightning whelks I ended up with, the lettered olives, a couple of those sand dollars, the horse conch, some spiny jewel boxes. I did actually grab one piece of driftwood, that golden sunray Venus clam, super duper cool. One angel wing, that awesome giant quahog, very cool. And then some of the other big prickly cockles, the albino prickly cockle, the giant Atlantic cockle, the Dosinias, we have the banded tulips here, the apple murex, some of those calico scallops, some bay scallops, one mussel, all of those pink rose petal talons, only one crown conch, a pile of those calico clams, and then for me, that moon snail, that shark eye, holy cow. Yes, there was the other true tulip and the colorful one, but man, that giant moon snail, oh, yeah, that was fun. That was really, really fun. Now, next week, we are finally going to go to Dry Tortugas. It is 68 miles off of the coast of Key West. We are going to snorkel and explore this place, look for seashells, It's going to be fun. I figure while a lot of the country's getting snow, we might as well go snorkeling. So until then, beach friends, I hope you have yourself a wonderful week, and I will see you again next Sunday.